What if I told you that the secret to a happy old age has nothing to do with how much money you saved? Not your job title, not even your diet or your genes. For over 85 years, Harvard researchers have tracked people from their teens all the way into their 80s and 90s, hoping to answer one question: what truly makes life fulfilling as we grow old? And after decades of data, they discovered something powerful and surprisingly simple. It's not wealth, it's not success, it's not even perfect health. The real key is connection. Deep, dependable relationships, the kind that keep your heart strong, your brain sharp, and your days meaningful. In this video, we'll explore what the Harvard study really found, how loneliness quietly damages aging minds, and what you can do starting today to live not just longer, but happier. Let's dive in. The Harvard study that shocked everyone. In 1938, Harvard University began an extraordinary project. They selected over 700 young men, some students, some from the poorest neighborhoods of Boston, and started tracking their lives in incredible detail. Not just their jobs or medical records, but their marriages, friendships, habits, joys, struggles, and regrets. Every year, for decades. It became known as the Harvard Study of Adult Development, and today, it's the longest-running scientific study on happiness and aging in the world. And what makes it so special is this: it didn't just look at data, it looked at real people. From war veterans to doctors, factory workers to lawyers, even one U.S. president. The goal? To answer one big question: what truly leads to a good life, especially in old age? The researchers expected it might be wealth, status, or even physical health. But the truth they uncovered was far more human and far more surprising. The number one predictor of long-term happiness. After following hundreds of lives for more than 80 years, Harvard researchers came to one clear conclusion: good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Full stop. It wasn't about being rich. It wasn't about being famous. It wasn't even about avoiding illness. The people who were happiest in their 70s and 80s weren't the ones with the most money. They were the ones with the strongest connections, people they could rely on, confide in, laugh with, and grow old beside. Dr. Robert Waldinger, the current director of the study, put it simply: loneliness kills. It's as powerful as smoking or alcoholism. But connection heals, it protects the mind and body. Even participants who struggled with health or finances still reported joyful lives if they had close, dependable relationships. That could be a partner, a best friend, a sibling, even a neighbor or grandchild they felt deeply connected to. In fact, the warmth and safety of those relationships were stronger predictors of a happy old age than cholesterol levels, career achievements, or retirement savings. How relationships protect the aging brain and body. You might wonder, how can something as simple as connection have such a powerful impact? Well, it turns out it's not just emotional, it's deeply physical. When you feel truly connected to someone, your brain releases chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine, which help regulate mood, reduce anxiety, and even fight inflammation. Supportive relationships also help lower cortisol, the stress hormone that, when left unchecked, can damage memory, raise blood pressure, and weaken the immune system. People with close bonds tend to sleep better, recover faster from illness, experience fewer symptoms of depression, and even live longer. And for the brain, connection is a kind of mental exercise. Conversations, shared laughter, deep listening, these things stimulate memory, sharpen attention, and protect the brain from decline. One study found that older adults with rich social lives had a 70% lower rate of cognitive decline than those who were isolated. So when Harvard says connection is the key, it's not just philosophy, it's biology. Here is a real-life story from the study. One of the most powerful moments in the Harvard study came from a man named Leo. He didn't have a fancy career. He wasn't rich. In fact, he lived in a small apartment and never traveled far from home. But what he did have was Sam, his best friend since childhood. They played cards every Thursday, helped each other through the loss of their wives, took daily walks in the neighborhood, even when their knees ached and their memory started to slip. When researchers asked Leo, in his 80s, "What's your biggest achievement?" he didn't mention money or career. He said, "I never had to face life alone." That one sentence said it all. Because Leo scored higher on happiness and health than many wealthier participants. His cognitive function was strong, his mood steady, and even when his body slowed down, his spirit didn't. Why? Because he felt connected, seen, valued. Leo's story, like so many others in the study, reminds us, it's not what we build or earn that defines a good old age. It's who walks beside us when the years get quieter. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. One of the biggest myths about happiness in old age is this, that you need a big family, a busy social calendar, or a house full of visitors to feel fulfilled. But the Harvard study proved the opposite. It's not the number of people in your life that matters. It's the depth and safety of the relationships you do have. You could have dozens of acquaintances and still feel alone. Or you could have just one or two close, dependable people and feel emotionally rich. The happiest seniors in the study weren't the most popular. They were the most emotionally secure, the ones who had someone to call at 2 a.m., someone to laugh with over coffee, someone who remembered their favorite stories. Even being truly known by one person was enough to protect their well-being. So, if your circle is small, don't worry. It's not about having more people, it's about having the right people. Here are 5 simple ways to strengthen connection after 60. If connection is the #1 key to a happy old age, then the next question is, how do we build it or rebuild it, especially later in life? The truth is, it doesn't take big changes. Just small, intentional steps that say, I still want to connect. I still care. Here are a few simple but powerful ways to nurture connection. 1. Call someone you miss. Don't wait for them to reach out. Send the message. Make the call. Even a short chat can reawaken old bonds and brighten your entire day. 2. Write a letter or voice message. There's something deeply personal about receiving a handwritten note or even just a kind voice on the other end. You don't need the perfect words. Just speak from the heart. 3. Join a small group or activity. A book club, walking group, church circle, or hobby class. Being around others even quietly reduces loneliness and builds shared meaning. 4. Offer help or ask for it. Helping someone with groceries. Letting someone help you. These small exchanges of care create bonds and trust. 5. Deepen one existing relationship. You don't need more friends, you might just need one stronger one. Be curious, ask questions, share stories, be present. The goal isn't perfection. It's simply showing up over and over in small, human ways. And every time you do, you're not just connecting with others. You're keeping your own mind and spirit alive. At the end of it all, when the jobs are done, the kids are grown, and the days get a little quieter, it won't be your savings account that comforts you, or the titles you held, or the things you once owned. It will be the people. The ones who sit beside you when words aren't needed. The ones who call just to check in. The ones who make you feel like you still matter. That's the wealth Harvard discovered. That's what truly carries us through old age with joy, peace, and strength. So if this video stirred something in you, if it reminded you of someone you've lost, or someone you still have, take one small action today. Call them, text them, or simply tell them, I'm glad you're in my life. Because the science is clear, and so is the soul. Connection is the key. If you found meaning in this video, subscribe to Senior Life Insights and share this with someone who might need a gentle reminder. They are not alone.